Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of iCast Fireball, an actual play 5e D&D adventure where we go through the campaign Skulls and Shackles. I am Thomas, your DM for this adventure, and around the table we have
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon,
Maximus Shuns,
Ataraxia Kalian,
and Buster Bilgewater.
the hag was looking haggard, so haggard that she died, and the party was responsible for it, with a massive tidal wave from Buster using the vestiges of almost the last magic spell that he had, destroying her hut apart, scattering her dangerous occult magic across the swampy swamp, and destroying her physically, emotionally, mentally, and probably metaphysically as well, as he then proceeded to herd 15 goats away with his +0 animal handling back to the Bleating Tankard. Gathering a few bits of treasure, pouch with a small beating heart in it, and a few other pouches that might be of use to the Bleating Tankard, the rest of the crew journeyed back and found themselves safely outside the Bleating Tankard well after the sun had set, seeing in the small, quote-unquote, town, enjoying their evening. And that is where we join our adventurers this week on iCast Fireball.
Now, one thing that I would like to do before we actually enter into the Bleating Tankard is I've got these pouches of loot, potentially, and I turn to the rest of the folks here and say, all right, so we are pirates, and morality is loose in our profession, so if any of you would like to claim any of this before we return it to these people, that is your prerogative, or we can give it back and hope they give us a reward. Up to you guys.
why are we returning it? We're the ones who found it. Why do we owe these people? We don't owe these people anything.
By right of plunder, it's ours, I think, technically.
All right, I'm learning new things every day. Okay, let's go
I'm
inside.
making that up. I'm making that up, Thomas. You can tell me if I'm being totally crazy.
You're pirates, man.
Hell yeah. I'm sorry. Forget Ray. Sorry.
Watch, we open the bags and it's just like a bunch of old love letters and like memorabilia of families. Like, and we're like, oh no.
Look at this old teddy bear.
Oh. Hey, look, it's
Well, are you going to open it now, or are you going to wait 20 episodes to open the treasure chest to see if the mask is in there?
It might behoove us to take a gander inside and, yeah, just see what kind of stuff we got going on here.
All right, Ataraxia, are you opening these up?
Let's do it.
All right. First one is a potion. It's a large flask, but you look inside and there's a sweet smelling potion. There's a lot. It's a pungent smell, very pungent. You kind of give it a little bit of a taste and you feel healthier having tasted a little bit of it.
If we wait 10 minutes, I could ritual cast and identify on anything magical.
10 minutes go by, and you ritually cast and find out that this is a potion of superior healing.
Superior, you say.
Superior healing. Another 10 minutes go by as you open another pouch.
Through touch arcane of magic's eye, what is imbued, identify.
This is what's called a Qual's Feather token. So there's a lot of plumage to it. There's a lot of feathers. And this one in particular, Buster, you find is called the Bird Qual's Feather token. Not as nice as some of the other ones or as exotic, but as an action, you can toss the token 5 feet in the air. The token disappears and an enormous multicolored bird takes its place. The bird has the statistics of a rock.
Oh my gosh.
a rock?
ROC.
It's almost a dragon. Like, it's like a super strong, big old bird. Like,
the
it's
mythic
like
creature of a rock from, I believe, Middle East lore. But it obeys your simple commands and can't attack. It can carry up to 500 pounds while flying at its maximum speed, 16 miles an hour for a maximum of 144 miles per day, with a 1 hour rest for every 3 hours of flying, or 1,000 pounds at half that speed. The burst disappears after flying its maximum distance or drops to 0 hit points, you can dismiss this bird as an action.
Okay. After he identifies it, he kind of his hands shake a little bit after those 10 minutes. He picks it up and he goes, Captain, come here.
What do you got?
I'm going to put this in your bandana. And he puts it on your bandana, like off of your head. So you got like this feather plumage kind of coming off.
Cool.
Hey, there you go.
Nice.
And he goes, we don't use it unless everything else has failed. I need you to understand. We don't use the feather unless there are no more options.
Have you told me what the feather is, or are you just giving me the feather?
It'll summon a huge bird that is super strong.
That's cool. I'm into that. Can we make friends with the bird?
It'll obey you. Yeah, it'll obey you and can do some tasks for you if needed. How long does it last, Thomas?
And it's single use?
Single use.
You use it and you burn it.
It lasts until it flies the maximum distance it can fly.
Wow. Okay. So yeah.
So all we gotta do is summon it and leave it on the ship and never make it fly anywhere. And we've just got this awesome bird.
Well, I don't think any ship could hold this bird, but yeah.
Rickety, what do we gotta do to make our boat rock friendly?
I don't know that you understood. We don't use the feather unless there are no other options.
Understood.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy. Whoa.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are between when we find ourselves in a hard place, we need to get between that and a rock.
A rock and a hard place.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
He was building up to it. He was building up to it.
There you go. That's true.
Listen,
I ruined it. I ruined it for Josh.
Listen, I signaled it. I telegraphed that pun a mile away.
As you another 10 minutes go by.
I tell him the magical words in order to summon the bird is you need to throw it into the air and say, I want to rock.
I want to rock.
That should.
Oh, like the Twisted Wizard song.
Yes.
Another 10 minutes go by, and you see that these are spectacles. Not just any spectacles, though. They have crystal in the frames. These are eyes of minute seeing. So while wearing them, you can see much better than normal out to a range of 1 foot. You have advantage on investigation checks that rely on sight while searching an area or studying an object within that range.
Whoa, advanced investigation?
So if you're observing something really close to your face, you get advantage on it.
Anybody want some glasses?
I have a high investigation.
That seems like a good combination.
I do as well.
While all this is going on, you go through some of the other pouches, and there's gems. There's a number of gems. You've got about 78. No, that sounds wrong. 7 gems, which come out to be about 140 gold pieces. So not anything crazy, but and they're like an opal, amethyst, things like that. And then the last item, Buster, as you
wait, are these eyes of minute seeing aren't like a casting thing? It's just a enchanted item.
Yeah.
Do you have to attune them?
Nope.
Nice.
If you guys don't mind, I might hang on to the glasses.
Go for it.
Okay. He's just gonna wear them.
Yeah.
That's what you do
At the
with
end of
glasses.
snow.
You wear them.
Yeah. Sorry, how many gold? Sorry for the gems.
Yeah, 140 gold pieces. And then as you do the ritually cast for the identify, on the last item there, you open the pouch and you at this point, and everyone's kind of like passing around the gems. The spell ends, and you don't get anything from it. Meaning, but what I mean by that is nothing immediate. You get that, oh, this is magic.
Oh, yeah, it's not letting me see what it is.
This is, it's not necessarily that it's not letting you see what it is. It's all of a sudden, like, your head, like, kind of arches back as you go,
Take off the glasses.
Your mind sort of, like, expands out from the island, and, like, it's almost being, like, pulled away from where you are and quickly, away from the island, away from the ship, away from the sea, into the clouds, out from the atmosphere, away from the planet of Galarian. You're being launched through the stars, your mind, as you can just see glittering stars all around. You see massive creatures swimming in the sky, in space as well. You see ships in space. You see, like, you pass by a dragon, a gold dragonborn hanging onto a mast, and sort of like looks at you as you go past. You see and then as you kind of like turn around, you see the entirety of space in front of you, sort of like a galaxy. And as you are looking at them, it's almost like little lines are being connected from dot to dot to dot. And all of these little tiny lines are forming, connecting all of these planets, and they're almost like turning and turning and turning in a jarring motion, almost like a clock, like. And as you see all of this, and it's too much, and you start to like feel like your mind is about to explode. You
Nose starts bleeding.
You're back outside the Bleating Tankard, and like stumble to the ground while holding the pouch, and you're still holding the pouch, like shaking a little bit. And to the three of you, you're like, all right, he said his spell. And then within half of a second, he fell to the ground shaking and just holding the pouch. Like, he fell standing up. Like, how did he trip over himself? Josh, or rather Buster, as you look in, you know the word of the magic item in here. And you look inside, and there are multiple cards. And this is a deck of many things.
No way. Oh, no. Okay. You know, like you see like a scared rabbit, like shaking in like
I do see a scared rabbit right in front of me.
That's like exactly what he looks like. Just like, he's gonna like stand up really, really slowly, like he's super weak and scared, and be like, okay, I'm here, I'm in my body. He grabs his staff, kind of like grips it.
You tripped.
Remind himself.
You tripped.
He kind of
right
grabs.
there.
He grabs Max like tightly
hello?
by the collar, and he says,
Yes.
I don't trust myself with these. And he kind of hands them to Max. He says, I think these are better trusted to fate. And he gives them to you.
The pouch you give to me?
Yeah, with the deck. That's a deck of, many things.
What on?
There are, it contains a bunch of cards. Basically, you draw one, and you never know which one you're going to draw. You draw one, and a random effect occurs. I saw everything. So, wonderful things, awful things, a black sea that never ended. I actually saw somebody look kind of like you at one point. But big. That's what I got. I like the feather. I think this is a desperate hour move draw. But
so the moral of the story for today is don't use this stuff unless there's nothing else we can do.
As Buster's wearing the glasses.
These are fine. I think
Very innocuous.
I think she just used these to look at stuff more closely. I don't think it's this is like a handy tool that she had. I think those are deeply magical items that I would be very cautious to use.
Should we sell them?
No.
Okay.
This is the kind of stuff you die with as a pirate.
Okay.
I'm learning lots of stuff today.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm just saying stuff, guys. I'm just saying stuff like
Somebody is a little bit shell-shocked from a trip through the cosmos.
Well, I kind of really like Buster, the magic person, being like, no, And this is kind of interesting. We're getting a little bit more insight into Buster's heart.
I don't think he wants Ignis to have these. I feel like Ignis would draw on both of these powers like right away. So I think he's intentionally. But I think there's also a moment where he looks at Max and goes, I mean, he's gonna try and say this privately, so like not so everybody can hear. You can say like, that hag said some weird stuff to you that got under your skin. I don't know what's going on with you, Max, or what it has to do with fate, or maybe even these cards, or that hag. If there's anybody to level with, it's the three of us. So, no one's gonna force you, but when you're ready, like, I think the Cap, Ignis, and I will be willing to listen. I'm gonna get a drink, and he pats you on the shoulder and then walks away.
Who's ready for a round on the Seder song?
Max is kind of like staring off, not like he's there with Buster, but it's very much like a 1,000-yard stare, if you will. And he goes, "Yes, quite right." And as Buster kind of walks away, he just turns to the captain and, Captain, if I may take my leave, I feel like one of us needs to be back on the ship.
Oh, sure. You can go hang out with Sandara, and I know that the lieutenant doesn't want to hang out with Sandara.
She also doesn't want to hang out in the bar, so...
Ignis is screwed.
I will take my leave. And Max will just immediately just start walking back to the ship.
Swim?
No, yeah. Like literally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what is he swimming back?
Yeah. Yeah. He's going back to the dock, realizing, oh yeah, I can't take the ship, and he will be like,
That's intense.
okay. And he will start swimming out to the boat.
I love the commitment.
Mickey's like, you can't swim. And
Can't
Jacob's
swim,
like, no,
right?
I
Oh,
will.
I will be swimming.
So
Actually,
help me.
you know what? This is what he'll do. Good call, Mickey. He will go to the dock, and he will be like, oh, yeah, there's the boat. And he will basically, like, be right ready to jump into the water. Like, okay, I guess I gotta swim back. And he will jump, and he will fly. Because Max, at 5th level, has wings
No! What?
that he's never used before. He will unfurl his gem dragonborn wings. That can last a minute, so it might not get me all the way to the boat, but it'll get me quite a distance. And Max will be flying back to the boat.
You can get to the boat.
This is the face. Ignis is just in shock.
Legitimate jaw drop.
As Ignis is looking on in shock, I turn to Buster and I go, can you fly?
What? No. I mean, maybe. I think I did a little bit there for a second, but like, I don't want to.
Would you like a drink, Buster? You look a little scattered.
I'd like so many drinks, Captain. Thank you.
Cool.
Can you drink? Are you old enough to drink? Is it
I don't
He's
know.
okay
not
that you're
old enough to
drinking with
drink.
us?
What's wrong with you?
Okay, I'm not old enough to drink.
I did so many things.
Again, learning so many new things.
All right. Yeah, let's make our grand entrance into the Bleating Tankard.
So, as you come into the Bleating Tankard, there are, you come up to the Goliath, and the Goliath goes, and just sort of grunts, moves over and lets you pass through without issue. And as you come into the Bleating Tankard, it is loud. There's no music, though. That's the thing. They don't really have a great band, and the people that do know how to play music are all drunk right now. Too drunk to even play, but there's a lot of noise, and there's a little bit of fighting, arm wrestling here, and a lot of men around the bar talking to Dancin' Darla Medeal. So, and one of them, who does not appear to be drunk, is Bent Beak Charney, who seems to have like a little like consternation on his face, like as Darla is chatting with everybody, serving the drinks, and playing her role as the captain as she sees fit. So, yeah, the three of you, though, you walk in, no issue. Buster, you see Slade the Snide playing checkers with somebody.
I got next game, Slade.
Oh, yes, we're back for new adventures. Grand. I hope to hear your success. Over a raucous game of checkers and strategy, let me destroy my current opponent, though.
Never mind. I'm done playing with you, Slade. You're so slow talking. And he's going to start stomping his foot really fast. Attention, everyone. Captain Ataraxia of the Satyr Song returns, and he's going to step behind you and cast a little gust of wind to kind of blow everybody. Just like not the big one, just a little gust to kind of push things around.
I kind of wish it was the big one, so people just like
I just shove everybody against the wall with them.
Wilhelm scream like flying through the air. Ah! No, just a little gust of wind, almost like a thaumaturgy, basically, of like getting people's attention. So
yeah, I'll act as herald for the captain here, and then open it up for him to have their attention.
Great, and this could be a wonderful opportunity again to get some info. Remember, if you get to a dock and you get to boast about your adventures and successes, you could roll some checks to see if that is successful. So, regardless, Ataraxia, you take center stage. Everybody's looking at you, and Dancing Darla goes, "Oh my goodness, you are all back. It's so good to see you, Ataraxia." Captain, good to see you back. Y'all want a drink? You want a drink too? She gives you a little wink, Ataraxia, like,
I've been told that I'm not old enough to drink. However,
ow.
And I will do a little satyr leap up onto the bar and just say, "Friends of Goat's Head, we have solved your hag problem."
After the initial silence, there's quite a bit of laughter of like, and one person's like, "Would you like give her a kiss or something?"
The kiss of death, am I right?
Wait, what? The same guy, like, wait, what? What'd you say?
I would like to mention at this point that I have not cleaned the blood off of myself from the goat splattering incident.
And it's apparent. People are like, oh.
And then I let in 15 goats into the.
You're gonna need to do a really high animal handling.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
Just open the door and they all come in.
You can't open a window and be like, "Ha!" Just show a bunch of goats out there.
I love the idea that you made the whole walk back with blood all over himself.
Benton Beak Charney goes, "Captain, well, I think you better clarify a little bit of what you're talking about. Kiss of death? I mean," he kind of leans in and he goes, "You didn't like actually kiss her, did you?"
No.
That's
No.
like bad news.
That is really bad news. Also, I'm too young for any of that. We have killed the hag. The hag is dead. In fact, I reach into my pocket and I pull out 10 gold pieces and I say, 10 gold to anybody who can prove that the hag is still alive.
And everyone kind of looks around. It's like, And then Dancing Darla goes, "Well, shoot, I don't think anybody wants to go over there and prove that she's alive. So, I mean, it's a pretty safe bet for you there, Captain. So you're probably good to just put that back in your pocket.
Will
your little
do.
pouch there."
Now, you see, 'tis unfortunate our muscle has taken his leave for the evening, flying off on wings of gem and sapphire. He currently holds the hand of the hag, which would have been a really fortuitous thing for us to show you to prove that we killed the hag. But life happens. Life is... It is fluid. It flows like the river.
Leave.
The rivers, which... That is true.
It's a bit mighty convenient that you don't have anything to prove you killed it, just like we can't prove that she's still alive.
Yeah, 10 gold pieces to you if you want to go prove that she's still alive.
Heck no, I don't want to go prove it. I've never been up there myself, and you were quite crazy to go up there yourself.
You're not wrong.
And goes, "Well, how are we supposed to know we don't have to give tribute next month?"
Well, don't do it. And if anything bad happens, you've got your answer.
Didn't you all used to freak out whenever you saw a goat?
Bent Beak Charney goes, I mean, we just didn't want to hurt them because she kind of was obsessed with goats. I mean,
So you'd say if you saw a bunch of goats, there's a good chance she'd be there, where the goats are.
yeah, it's probably a good assumption. I mean, the most goats I've ever seen are around her hut for sure.
Bent Beak, old boy, if you're not going to listen to the captain, trust your eyes. Look outside.
And as you gesture a little gust of wind to draw attention, as you open the shutters over there, a goat jumps up on the windowsill and looks at everybody, and its eyes just go. And you can see the 15 goats out there, and another person goes,
Well, heck, there is a bunch of goats out there right now. There's more than 3 of them.
Would
We never
anybody
had
like to
3?
buy a
It's not
goat?
wrong.
More than 3 of them.
Ataraxia turns it into an auction.
I got one goat over here, one goat, I got one goat here, gotta get it, 2 go ahead. Dancing Darla goes, well, shoot, I think that's probably some good indications of, I don't think she'd let you steal the goats, that's for sure. And she really cared for them and loved them. And she goes, hey, Willingham, Captain, what are your thoughts on this? And you see this really tall, black individual come up, and he looks outside, and he goes, there are a lot of goats out there, yes. I don't know how it could be proven that she be dead, though. But we may be inclined to at least hear them out and hear their tale.
And I say, fine. A promise upon the honor of a fey creature. And I step into the center of the room and hold up a hand, and I start casting fairy fire, but in like a whirlwind around myself, so it's blowing my poncho into the air, and my eyes start glowing brightly. And I speak up to the sky, fey to fey, blood has been taken, an oath has been made, an oath has been broken in the very same night. I have taken that which is mine for the glory of the Feywild, from another creature who perverted its wonder.
And as those words sink in and they like resonate and the magic sort of and just takes hold, the binding oath spoken of a fey creature about another, there is just like this unnatural like silence to the room. Bent Beak Charney kind of walks up to you and goes, I'm inclined to believe Captain Ataraxia here. With his words and his bond, his promise, since we've known him, since I've known him, his word is to be good. And there are enough little evidences to prove this fact, and dare I say we could probably, tomorrow before they leave, request final evidence if they really do have the hand of this hag. To that, I say we celebrate that the hag is dead! And a cheer goes up into the tavern. Raucous laughter. Hey, we be celebrating! And with that, I'll have Ataraxia for this. For the rest of the evening, you can go ahead and roll a infamy check here to try and gain some infamy.
Did you write that? Was that pre-prepped? Your oath?
It was not.
Holy
It was
moly.
not?
It was not. That's improv, baby.
Baby!
My man.
My man. So yeah, now you can do an infamy check here. Let's... everybody has their own sailing check, right? And that's kind of what we used last time Sandara used it. Ataraxia, did you use... I'm trying to recall if you did an infamy check previously or it was strictly Sandara.
I think it was just Sandara doing it previously.
Okay. Let me go
Would
get
it be
my book.
charisma for you?
I think it will be. Give me a sec, though.
Yeah, because I think because Buster gave her one of his divination rolls, right?
I'm straight out of divination altogether. I may have, yeah.
Oh, I mean, Cinder at the time, not right now.
Right, I know what you're saying.
Man, we're all out of divinations. We're all out of spell slots.
Out of
I just cast
everything.
my last spell.
Yep. I have one Unleashed Incarnation left, and that's it.
Do you have inspiration though, right, Ned?
I did have inspiration, and then I used it.
Cool
for the,
DM.
hag
Cool Thomas
knowledge.
DM. Would not the speech given by one Ned as Ataraxia?
I thought, didn't you just get one at the beginning of the last episode?
I did.
give one to Ned just
Yeah.
just the last
Oh,
episode.
okay.
He used it, which is
Yeah.
good. You gotta use your inspiration.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Okay, when it comes to infamy, here we go. So it's going to be a charisma check, performance, or persuasion in this instance. I would say performance, in my opinion, because you're very much putting on a show, and to spout your adventures, it's very performance based. So go
Yes.
ahead and roll.
Is there any advantage given the second level spell slot that I spent on that?
Yes, we'll say advantage for this time. Not only because of the spell, but also due to the persuasive nature, the evidence that you brought along with the goats, and then the promise of more evidence as well. I'll say the spell slot just tipped you over into the advantage.
Boom, baby. That's a cool DM right there. Well,
That's a
going,
cool play. Got a cool party over here.
That's true. Well, that's still only a 13 with advantage.
Ooh, okay. So, with infamy, doing quick mechanic crunching from Pathfinder to 5e. So, with this, you spend the rest of the evening, and all three of you, Lieutenant yourself included at times, when you're called upon or brought into a one-on-one conversation with a drunken individual who might be trying to chat you up a little bit, then you just deflect with conversations about the battle. You can all contribute as a whole, as a party, with the deeds of defeating the hag. It's just barely enough to get you one single point of infamy here after a long night. It goes way into the night as well. I mean, Ataraxia, you are talking until like almost the sun is starting to come up here about your deeds, going over the same stories, even talking about some of your previous adventures. Buster slayed the snide. He does rope you into a game of checkers at one point.
After a few drinks, it works.
You're like, okay, fine.
Every other drink, I feel like he's talking faster.
There you go. And so, you all get 1 point of infamy.
There we go. We're up to 7. Look at that.
Hey, and thank you for keeping track of that.
No problem.
7 points of infamy. Pretty darn good there. You're going to start unlocking some different social interactions that you've got, and also some possible mechanics you can use on your ship and boat as well. So as you get no night's sleep basically going into the night, is there anything in particular you want to focus on other than talking about your adventure? You won't be able to do like hours worth of work, but it's maybe just like a thing here, a thing there to like check in on, conversation, things like that.
So when Sweet Willaham Poor came out and offered his opinion, do we now have confirmation that that was the guy that we saw leaving Griselda's Hollow?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I want to just like keep an eye on him, maybe chat up. I'll be talking with Bentbeak Charney, trying to, convince him that he should go and talk to Danson Darna. But every so often, just kind of like, man, what about this Sweet Willaham Poor guy over here? Would you like another mug of ale?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So as you ask Bentbeak Charney about the other captain, is that right?
Yeah, I just want to get information on what this guy's deal is.
Yeah. So as Bentbeak, after a few mugs, he's kind of being like, man, I need to. It's so hard because we got all this history, and Darla and I, it's hard to break that history just like in a moment, and to just go and like take that moment. Oh, I'm sorry, you asked about Captain Poor. I apologize.
I mean, they're both important. They're both important people.
Yeah, Captain Poor, he's Captain Poor. What are you gonna do? I mean, he's tall, he's muscular, he's incredibly handsome. I mean, if you hear him, you swoon at his voice, right? I mean, like he's got everything that a captain really actually needs.
Oh, have I been focusing my attention in the wrong direction as far as with my matchmaking here?
Look, I'm not gonna be the first to tell you that he's got it all, right? He's got it all. He's got the respect of his crew. He's got blood on his hands. He's got wealth. I mean, he's got the lonely figure / tough guy look.
He's tall, dark, and handsome. All that.
Tall, dark, and handsome. Tall, and I'm not. Okay, and he's dark,
I feel
and
that.
he's handsome, and
But the feet,
I mean-
he's got the feet though. Come on.
honestly,
see
I
it.
don't know why Darla hasn't picked up on any of his moves up to this point. It's been frankly both defeating and confusing to see all that go down. So,
Well, maybe she's got her attentions on somebody else.
I mean, who else is there? I mean, I know you're gonna say me only because that's like part of the conversation we're having right now. But like,
It is.
it doesn't make sense that you would say me. But I feel like I have to trust you because of who you are and what you have going for you, and just being okay. I just feel like you have a lot of gravitas for a captain, and I'm the kind of captain that just gets things done and makes sure that the machine keeps turning, right? That we have enough rum, we have enough goats, we have enough straw type of a thing. And I feel like that's all people see me for. Maybe that's, and he like raises his eyebrows, raises his hands into the air. Maybe that's why I have a hard time talking to Darla. Because I just see myself as the day in, day out. I'm boring you. I'm sorry.
No, you're not. It's just that I need to make sure that I have an obligation to answer the question, and the answer is, I think it's you. I think it's you, Ben Big Charney.
Yeah. I mean,
Is Captain Poor, is he
Maybe.
sketchy?
sketchy? I mean, no, he doesn't draw at all. He doesn't do any sort of like charcoal work or anything like
Yeah.
he doesn't
That's
he doesn't
funny.
bring up plans.
That's funny.
He doesn't
That's good comedy right there. That's good comedy.
I'm here all week, folks.
You got him. You got it. No, keep going. Talk about other sketch things.
I mean, sure, like, he does go to the forest for long periods of time. Yeah, there's sometimes days that we don't see him. There are times where, like, he will take his little dinghy off and then come back a month later with a mass amount of loot and only himself and the rest of his crew not there. I mean, what else? But what else is there, you know? What else is there?
Yeah, with each of these comments about the wild stuff that Captain Poor is doing, my eyes are just getting a little bit wider with each one of those. What else is there, truly? What else is there? You know what? I think you're great. I think you're wonderful, Captain Charney.
Thanks. I think I'll have you roll a persuasion check here. To see if he actually does go and just start talking to Dance the Darla.
Okay, well that is a 19.
Roll for self-esteem.
And he goes, You're right. Excuse me, Captain. Pardon me. Takes like a little bit of a sip of his drink and goes, and he just starts walking over. And small guy. So he jumps up, leans on the bar, and he starts chatting out of earshot to Dance and Darla. And Dance and Darla leans over, like, puts her fist on her cheek as she's like looking at him, starts talking to him as well. And so they carry on a merry conversation. And then you go back to boasting about your adventure with some of the other more coherent people.
Yeah, as we're boasting along, I sidle up to the lieutenant at one point, and I am kind of keeping an eye on what's going on with that conversation the entire time. But I get up to the lieutenant, and I'm like, so I was just talking with Charney about Captain Poor, and that guy has skeletons in his closet.
He's a pirate, don't we all?
We all do, but the kind of skeletons... Here's the one that really just kind of like boggled my mind. Captain Charney's like, yeah, he just disappears on his dinghy for like an entire month and then just shows up with ridiculous amounts of cash. So that has... This guy, still waters run deep, as they say.
And Ignis perks up at the implications of what that could mean. So, do you want to follow him? Do you want to interrogate him? Should we tie him up and take him somewhere and talk to him?
You bring up many options. I didn't know which. Hey, Buster, my man.
I told you, I could only shape ale at the best bars. And he, essentially, he knows they're putting water in the ale, and so he's able to shape it and move it into his mouth and move it into other people's mouths. And he's
An excellent parlor trick,
he goes,
Buster.
when you're out of spells and out of luck, there's nothing left but to go it to the cup. And he just keeps drinking and falls back off of his seat. And when you look over to talk to him, his head's on the ground, his tongue's sticking out, and he just...
Yes.
It appears I win this game of checkers, Buster.
Yeah.
I don't think Buster's going to be a lot of help in this.
His
Gold.
judgment. Are you sure? I think he's in a very good, unimpaired situation to pass judgment on important things. That was sarcasm. I keep forgetting that sarcasm and my whole vibe don't.
They really
Anyway.
don't, yes.
Yes, I'm learning so many things today.
Ataraxia and Ignis, would you mind if I pause this for one moment and I jump over to Max
You're
for a
the
few moments
DM.
here?
You do what you do.
Thank you. Precious.
You're welcome.
Max. It has been hours since you have left the party, since you have flown, used your majestic gemmed wings to get to the ship. And as you land on the deck, you hear a startled cry of a woman goes, "Oh, well, you don't see that every day there, Max. It's good seeing you. Glad you're all in one piece. But is it just... Do it just be you,
Yes,
or
yes,
the
just
rest of the
me
crew,
for this evening. Took my leave by the captain's command, permission, and am back with the ship to make sure all is ship shape.
Aye, but they do be alive, it sounds
Yes,
like.
yes,
eh?
all is well, all is alive, and we killed a hag, yay!
Magnificent. Magnificent. Seems my prayers to Besmara were helping you out quite a bit then.
Sure.
She laughs. She goes, I only joke. I know you don't believe in her. Aye,
no,
Max,
no.
good to see you
On the
back.
contrary, I do. I just don't subscribe,
Oh.
if you will.
Fair enough. She points a finger at you. She goes, fair enough there, Maxie. No, everything's in tip-top shape. I'll keep standing guard. No worries. You can get some rest after. Seems as you are still covered in some gore and still beaten up, rather, or at least your clothes need some mending. Seems you could probably use a little bit of mending yourself, taking a bit of time for yourself. So you can hop on down there.
Yes. Quite right. I think I'll go in to the captain's quarters for a second, just to take stock.
Aye, be your communal space, as it were, as you being co-captains and all.
Yes, well, there is one captain after all. We're just his
Aye.
council.
Aye, of course. All right, well, let me know. Just give me a holler, okay?
Yes, of course. And Max will go into the captain's quarters. And as soon as he closes the door, he'll just like kind of walk into it. And as soon as he closes the door, he will lock it and run over to the table that is there and just empty the pouch with the deck. And he will start counting the cards.
Yes, absolutely. As you take the cards, making sure not to see anything that has been revealed, you count the cards slowly, very gingerly, almost like only using like the tips of your claws to kind of like move them. There are 18 cards here.
Not a full deck. And Max will reach into his coat and pull out his diary, open it up to a specific page, and take out a card and lay it down onto the table. 19. there something to this? Oh.
And sure enough, the card has a very similar shape, dimensions. And did you want to say what was on the card?
Max can look at it. Just keep looking at it. He can still see it, everything, correct? It didn't erase like the surface of it or anything.
Correct. You can still see it. Although the magic is currently inert, meaning it doesn't re-up every time you see it, you can see the picture on it.
Max will just look at the card. He won't like say anything on it, but he'll just look at it.
And as the 18 face down are in front of you and the one face up with the word displayed prominently at the bottom, I turn it to you.
He'll just be staring at this and... Why in my hands? Back in my hands. Is this what solves it? Is this what... Has chance given me a way to change my fate? Buster, you gave this deck to absolutely the worst person.
What's happening? What is happening right now? What is happening right now?
We're having a good time. That's what's happening right now.
Max is just trying to think of just what to do. Like, what does he do with this? Do I hold on to it? What do I do? And I think Max will actually, I'm just going to throw this out for flavor. We'll see if it does anything. Max will use his psionic messaging and just cast it to anything. Just, what am I to do? And he's just going to stare for a while at the cards laid before him.
As you stare at the 19 before you, the one already having been drawn before today, the 18 still face down from the deck. Not going to sleep anytime soon. Possibly staying up just as late as the rest of your adventuring party. As Buster passed out in the bleating tankard, Ataraxia and Ignis having this hushed conversation while boasting of their strength to gain infamy, figuring out what to do. It seems there is a lot of that question being asked of what to do next. And that is where we end this week's episode of I Cast Fireball.
Just a
This is
regular,
insane.
normal, standard episode.
Thomas,
Everybody
what would you have
is
done?
completely fine with.
What would you have done if I gave that deck to anybody else?
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Oh my gosh!
The fates have declared.
Oh, that was so
Good lord, that's so cool. Oh man, it's so cool.
Top 5 of this whole podcast. Easy.
I was not expecting to get that.
That was so incredible. That was so incredible.
Like when when Buster hands that, my mind literally exploded on
my
this side
God.
This is not scripted.
No,
None of us
of course
knew.
not.
None of us knew that was coming. That was not
I
a
love that
false
so
moment
much.
at all.
I re-listened to every one of these episodes because there's so many things
Just for
happening.
Buster to say like, I think I trust you. I was like, oh no, this is
Oh, sweet child.
Wow. Side note, while this is happening, Josh, listen, knowledge is free from Buster, of course, but I looked up the cards and what they do, and good lord,
Yeah.
good lord.
Crazy.
Oh,
They're
yes.
crazy.
And
All of
if
them.
you don't
are
know,
crazy.
there's a deck of many more things out there too, which has
There it is.
Yeah.
Gosh.
There is. Well, what fun. As Ned put it, just a normal episode here this week. And always such a fun time. Mickey, Jacob, Josh, Ned, thank you so much for playing, of course, and allowing me to be your DM on this fun adventure. But listeners, you are the real stars. You're the reason why we keep doing this. You're the reason why we keep pushing forward, trying to find fun, creative storytelling ideas to tell a fun fantasy D&D world-filled story. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support. If you want to show your support in other ways, you can reach out to us on our email, icastfireball2020@gmail.com, or you can shoot at our social media at icastfireball20 on Instagram, Facebook, or our YouTube channel. We get a lot of people on YouTube, surprisingly, for being an audio-only podcast, and it warms our hearts a lot. And of course, we have our Patreon-exclusive Discord channel that you can join for only $5 a month, and you can chat with us on the daily and other people. We had an absolute fantastic piece of fan art, and I call it fan art, but it is really a fan said they're dressing up as Lance for Halloween. And wow, that was
cool. It's so cool.
That was incredible. It was incredible to see their cosplay.
I
It was
For real.
incredible to
was-
see
For real.
the
Oh
just
my gosh.
everything.
I was just mind blown.
It was talk about giddiness for days.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
us getting that piece of info. We want to shout out you, David, on the Discord. You know who you are. That's incredible. Shout out to you. If you want to get shouted out, just reach out to us on any one of those paths, and we would love to shout you out on a future episode here. We're also shouting out Improv Tabletop. They're doing Fate. Fate! Talk about Fate in this episode. They're doing Fate over there all the dang time. And it's super fun. They're fun mashups. They, as of recording, there are a couple options for what they will be doing for November, and it is quite exciting, quite thematic, and I am very excited to see what happens out there with the voting that happens. So go take a look at that, and don't forget to leave them a 5-star review on the way out. Lastly, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends and fellow wacky adventurers. But until next time, I'm Thomas, your DM, and around the table we have...
Lieutenant Ignis Halcon.
Maximus Shuns.
Ataraxia Kalian.
Those are my goats.
Let's keep that fire going, everybody, and we'll see you all next time.